Hey golfers, if you're watching this video, there's a good chance that you dread chipping. Not because you don't know how, or not because you don't know what to do, but because you're scared of what might happen. You're scared you're gonna chunk it. You're scared you're gonna blade it. And worst of all, you might yip it. It's like some little evil gremlin shows up whenever you're around the green. Your hands get jumpy, your brain freaks out. And even though you know that you can chip well, you just don't trust yourself when you're in that moment. But here's the truth. The yips are not just in your head. Most of the time they start with something technical. It could be your grip pressure. It could be something in your setup. So make sure you stay tuned for this whole video, and I'm gonna walk you through the steps to help you understand why you might have the yips and to get you started feeling really confident around the greens. My name is Maggie Simons, but my friends call me Mags for short because I help them master a great swing. Let's get you to feeling super confident around the greens and get rid of those yips. Okay, so here we are right next to the green. Pretty tight lie, but very straightforward golf shot. We need to feel confident that we can hit this not only on the green, but hit it close. And those of us that are struggling with our chipping yips, we are afraid that we're going to chunk it. We're afraid we're going to thin it. And our brain honestly just doesn't even know what to think. So I'm gonna go over what I see very commonly with my students who struggle with chipping the most. And it starts right in the setup. So with most of my students, when they're struggling, I find that they're addressing their chip shot like they would almost a full swing. So they're way too far away from the golf ball, the handle's way too low, like they're about to step up and hit a full wedge shot. So when we're chipping right next to the green, I wanna see you a lot closer to the golf ball, and I wanna see this handle a lot taller. So you're gonna feel like it's very close to your body. It's gonna feel very awkward if you haven't done this before. And I want you to almost feel like your thumbs are gonna point down to where your wrists are kind of fully extended here. And what that does is it's going to allow us to not really be able to extend that golf club radius any more than it is without moving our body. So if we start here with our wrist in this position, I have room to let that angle out, and that's gonna change the radius of the club. So by going ahead and extending that club all the way out, I've taken away that variable. And then I wanna get a lot closer to the golf ball. So that's the first thing that we want to address when we are looking at our setup and improving our chipping. If we get too far away from the golf ball, then the club is going to want to tend to work around our body a little bit too much. It's going to tend to work inside, and that's going to lead to some contact variability that we just don't really need to have in our swing. So we're going to get a lot closer, we're going to get the handle a lot taller, and that's going to make it a lot easier for that club to work a little bit straighter back and straighter through and give us a better chance of making solid contact. So you can see when I'm chipping, that club goes pretty straight back and straight through. And if we let it get too far inside, I'm gonna bottom out early, flub it, and then I'm gonna thin it after that. So a drill you can do to help with that is to put an alignment stick, I would say about 1.5 feet just inside of your golf ball. And we wanna feel like that club is gonna stay outside of that alignment stick. It's not gonna let you get it too far inside. So just hitting some shots where we're gonna force that club head to stay a little bit more outside. And then from face on, we have to feel like our sternum, the buttons of our shirt, are going to start left of the golf ball and that they're gonna stay left. What I see a lot of times is, I think most people know that we wanna have our weight left, but what I see is they do this. They get their hips left, but this stays back. And the club's gonna end up bottoming out wherever that upper body is. So we need to make sure that we're getting that sternum left of the golf ball, and then we're keeping it there, not hanging back and trying to help it in the air. So you can see my sternum is gonna stay in front of the golf ball as I keep that club out in front of the stick. Okay. And the third thing that we have to make sure that we're doing is, because a lot of people will tend to kind of dip down, I see that a lot, in order to make sure they're hitting the ground. Great thing to help with that is, okay, we're getting our sternum left, handle tall, but I want you to almost feel like you're kind of locking out that right knee. And if that's locked out, it's really hard to dip down. So lock out that right knee, and that should help you stay nice and tall through impact, which is what we want to do. So weight forward, shaft forward, sternum forward, lock out the right knee, And that's gonna help you with your contact, making sure we brush the ground, but we don't dip down and really stick the club into the ground. Do you see that one in? Okay, so here's the hitting station we're gonna set up. We've got the stick right inside of our golf ball line. And I want it to be where if you take it inside that you're gonna hit it. We're gonna have the handle tall. We're gonna have our sternum forward. Okay, we wanna get that sternum left of the golf ball. And now, from this point, for those of you that stick it into the ground, you're probably gonna be afraid, oh, that club's gonna stick into the ground. The only way it's gonna stick into the ground is if we don't let our body kind of extend up, let the handle work up through impact. And what I see with a lot of people is they'll wanna kind of dip down to make sure they hit the ground. So what we're gonna do to not allow that to happen is once we get handle tall, closer to the ball, sternum forward, I want you to almost feel like you're gonna let that right leg, right knee kind of lock out. If it's locked out, it's really hard to dip down. So we're gonna get weight forward, handle forward, lock that right knee, and hit a few shots that way. So do it again. Handle tall, closer to the ball, sternum forward, lock the right knee. And you can see as I come through, you can see from this face on angle, right? I'm not lowering my body. If anything, as I come through, I'm getting this club to move up. So lock the right knee, right? Really crisp contact, scuffing the ground. Okay, weight forward, sternum forward, lock the right knee, club outside of the stick. And then as I come through, I'm gonna let that club come up and out of the ground. Just like that, it's pretty easy. Finally, the last thing that I see very commonly is my students will tend to not take a long enough backswing, right? We tend to get like real short and kind of stubby, right? Maybe we're afraid to take it back far because we're afraid we're gonna miss it way over the green. So we need to let the club go back far enough to where we can kind of let it fall and be nice and flowy through impact. I don't want you to feel like you have a huge acceleration through impact. So kind of my favorite drill for that is just letting yourself hold the club with just that trail hand. And we're gonna let the club come back. And because that club head is so heavy, it's really hard to not have good flow. As long as you keep your body turning, right? You can even put kind of your hand on your sternum, make sure we're keeping your body turning. But, okay, really nice way to get some nice flow. Let that club land on the ground. Okay, nice and crispy there. Back, through. You can see just letting that club go back and through, let it hit the ground. Because my philosophy is you have to hit the ground. If you don't hit the ground, nothing good is gonna happen, right? Now, can we hit the ground too much? Yes. But if we get our body working properly, that's not gonna happen. So we have to hit the ground every single time. Because if we don't, we're doing the walk of shame over the green, and there's nothing worse than that. So try the setup changes, right? Make sure we're closer to the ball, handle taller, sternum to the left. Okay, then make sure we put an alignment stick outside of our golf ball here, so we can make sure that we're taking the club back on the right plane, not letting the club whip too far inside. Do some one-handed swings, right, to get that nice, good flow. And then make sure as we're coming through, we're letting our body kind of feel like it's extending up. If you feel like you're dipping down, even allow that right knee to kind of straighten, lock out a little bit to make sure that we're staying a little bit more level through the shot and not really wanting to lower ourselves through impact, which will get that club sticking in the ground. I promise you, if you do those things, you'll be well on your way to fixing your chipping yips. Let me know in the comments if this worked for you. Thank you so much for watching. And if you'd like some more one-on-one help with your short game or your full swing, we can do so through Skillest, and I have that link in the description below. I would love to help you more one-on-one with your golf game. And if you like this video, please make sure to subscribe. That way I can continue to bring you content like this every single week. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you later.